Hello people, how are you doing today? I'm doing quite well on my side. It's getting a bit colder around here, but staying busy warms me up. So me and my project assistant have launched the casting auditions to voice some of the characters of the main cast. And well, it is quite interesting to say the least. This is not the first time on my side doing auditions and casting work. I had launched another audition years ago for a small animation project I was working on. It was called Sally's Vlog, but I canned it early on because I didn't like how the character model turned like. I think I posted a link in the Casting Call Club audition page, which also happens to be found in the video comment section down below if you want to take a look at it. Concluding this short epilogue, it's kind of wholesome to see your characters brought to life, not just with animation but with voiceover as well. So it really is exciting to see people performing for the project. To all the people who are participating and shooting their shot, thank you for the interest shown in the project. Thank you for the time and dedication, and you all rock, you're all awesome. Really, thank you for your performances. So anyway, this video is simply a quick glance at the workflow and behind the scenes and making of the Squirmy Cool music clip that we released yesterday, I think. This animation or set of animations took me much more time than anticipated since no prior preparation or planning went into it. It was all pretty much done on the spot. It was said to be a small bunch of short loops, but software and hardware limitation kinda slowed me down along the way, especially when it came to finishing and coloring the whole thing. So I usually tend to work on my PC rig where I have enough RAM and memory and a good processing power to handle heavy scenes and large file sizes. I considered investing in a high performance tablet, especially seeing how the latency and lag was quite minimal compared to my human pen display. I am now officially plugged in the Apple ecosystem. Yes, I now own and use an Apple product, the 2021 M1 iPad Pro. And well, it's great. Fanboying aside, I have developed quite the abusing relationship with it. Doing extensive 2D animation work has already brought the hardware down to its knees. I have crashed this thing in the system and the software so many times now, I'm wondering if I have not reduced the lifespan of my iPad. So the go-to software I used on it for 2D animation is Calipeg, which is quite solid in performance and has a great intuitive and simple UI for anybody to just dive in and do cool stuff with it. As you can see, for this project, I decided to work with 2K resolution scene just for the heck of it. Without any particular planning, I chose the Squirmy Worms beat made by Marcel Negrosaki James. I've put a link down in the comment section down below. And after inscribing the tempo, I just went on and roughed out a couple of dancing loops, dividing the scene between each characters. At first, everything was fine. There were no lag, there were no slowdown, and the performances were buttery smooth. The scene were looking quite fast and played pretty much great. Then, after cleaning the sketches up with solid lines, I had to add some layers in for the colors and the shading. That's where I realized I had messed up. You see, the iPad Pro, at least the 2021 M1 version, only has 8 GB in random access memory. At least that's the constraints that came with the model I bought. And well, all the active softwares are limited to a maximum of 5 GB. Basically, this means that whatever you do, whether it is editing work, animation, digital painting, or music compositing, you need to keep an eye out on the size of the files you are working with. I know the average person who uses their iPad, from what I've seen, mostly use it for media consumption, with browsing and writing text notes. However, those attempting to do serious animation work might find it limiting. I did. Still, I got to finish my clip and got to learn from the experience. I can't do everything on this thing, especially since the next scenes I'll be working on will be much heavier than this. As you can see, as I'm importing the scenes in the software, they all range from weighing 8 to 10 gigabytes, exceeding way past the allowed limit of what the iPad can handle. 2K scenes with hundreds of frames containing 5 to 6 layers of animation is not recommended, even on the iPad Pro. It was not designed for that type of work. Look here, what happens when I play some of the scenes with all of the finished layers turned on? The memory overflows and the software crashes. At that point, there isn't anything I can do. I can't export the scene or access any of the settings. When I leave the file browser, I can't open any of the other shots, and the one I just left is stuck in this saving process forever. Basically, I have to force shut down the software, which is not really recommended on this hardware, then open it back again, get welcomed with a blank screen, then go back into your scene, figuring out what has been lost and what has been saved from your progress. This whole cycle happened regularly during the coloring phases with all of my scene, except maybe with Big Pig Betty. I had to find unconventional ways to keep on working on the scenes, dividing them into multiple smaller segments, or avoiding to scrub too much to not overload the memory cache. It was painful and forced me to reevaluate my workflow. Nonetheless, I had a lot of fun animating the crew members, and with fingers crossed, hope that I won't have too many issues with the upcoming scenes. Anyway, I'm still quite satisfied with the overall performance of the iPad. I just might not do extensive coloring work within further on. In the end, I basically color corrected and composited the rest on Premiere Pro on my PC, then played around with the music. There's an alternate version of the video where I used another track from the same artist, so feel free to tell me which version you prefer. So thank you for watching, and I hope you like the animation.